Couple things. What's the age range you want to date?
Uh, uh, 25 to 35.
Okay.
But I'm saying that age range because I do want to have another kid, and I know that those age range really works really well. But I'm open on the upper end, depending on the person and biology and how their face card is. I'm definitely open because it depends on the person.
Okay. Would you date a woman that has kids already?
Yeah, of course. But again, there would be some probably, some expectations around that. But as long as those expectations are met, I'm open to it.
Okay. Did I ask you why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
You did not ask me that question.
Okay, that's the last question.
No, I definitely think that I give a little bit of everything. I think leading with character, and trying to enjoy life and engaging, and I don't like to use the term high value man, but I know that in a lot of areas I'm top 2 or 3%, and I think that matters to some people.
Oh, okay. That's another reason they called him. See how Kendra is looking? Top 2 or 3%. Yeah. Anytime a man has confidence and speaks highly of himself, women call him gay. They call him sassy. See, as soon as he mentioned that he's a high value man and he's in the top 2 3%. See where Kendra is looking? So I see why women in the comments were calling him gay.
What qualifies you? I personally don't think I don't think high value. Well, first let me ask you this: what do you rate? What are the qualifications that you feel as though make you high value?
I think it's how you conduct yourself. Number one, you're having discipline, being disciplined in your life, and I think also there's an income component, being able to be a provider. I think that that's important. And I say high value to me would be like over 150, 200,000. Being maybe possibly at the lower end of a millionaire would make you a high value, at least in my opinion, because you're able to afford your whatever lifestyle you live. And then about the how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis, not getting into some of the things that's I think lower value as far as conduct and things of that nature.
Okay, good answer.
So
Okay.
I don't really believe in that term, but it just seems like that's the term people use.
Right. This is directed towards you because obviously you're not the first person that ever thought of that term. But I feel as though that term really got the internet and the dating game messed up because high value makes it doesn't matter. If a person is not showing up for you, no matter how much money they have in the bank, they actually have no value.
No, they do have value. To the market, they do have value. If we're going to be honest, you see Elon Musk, he had like 12 baby mamas, 12 kids, but he's the richest person in the world. He has more value than I do. So you may think, oh, he sleeps around, he has so many kids, he's not high value. The market decides he's high value. That's why the market rewards him with all the money. That's it. We can't put our feelings into it. You could say person of good character, whatever it is, but on the surface, from the world point of view, a person of high value is what the market says. And the market usually rewards him with lots of resources. It is what it is. That's my opinion.
You can know a person that has $500,000, and let's say you're dating a man that has $500,000, but then there's a man that makes 60K. But that's the man that's really showing up at your door and really being there for you in the time of need. That man has more value than the 500K man.
Yeah, that man who makes 60K would have more value if more women wanted him. Okay, but unfortunately, more women want the guy who makes $500,000, so he has more value. We don't care if the guy who makes 60K goes to church every single day, if he can read the Bible from the beginning to the bottom, in 2 seconds. We don't care. The women decide that, hey, listen, yeah, you're good, you don't curse, but guess what? I want this guy who makes $500,000. He's high value. Like I said, the market decides.
I hate that we got to this realm that because of the dollar amount a person makes, they're considered high value. It's really bullshit. It's like
no,
the
it's
person
not.
who showed up for you. Why does it matter what they have in the bank account?
Ask the women. They come on your show every day asking for men making lots of money. So ask them. They decide the market. They are the market.
I 100% agree. And Kendra, between me and you, I actually am not an advocate of the term in the sense that it's a lot of people I know that make under that threshold that I consider them high value because of their character, because of how they conduct themselves. And sometimes when I talk to young ladies and they show a willingness to leave their man for me, and it's only because of what they make, it turns me off because that's not cool. Like, I think that that's, to me, that shows disloyalty. And I feel like if somebody shows up in so many different areas, it's more important than money. And I don't believe in leading with money. But at the same time, the reality is that people do live a certain level of lifestyle. And I do want whoever I'm with, if they live that way, for them to know that I believe I can, to an extent, help support that lifestyle and continue it and not downgrade.
I understand. That's why I said that wasn't really a comment directed towards you, because it's just a term that everyone used. I stand on this high value man that a lot of women speak of. And honestly, women, I'm going to put us in this category because it's been so loud, vocal, that a man has to make a certain amount of money.
Yes.
It has made the man in that tax bracket feel like, well, I got it all. You know?
Thank you, Kendra. You're coming around to what I was saying. The women decided that they only want men who make that kind of money. So guess what? Those guys have value. Why? Because the market wants them. The market is the women. Okay? Once the women decide that the guy who makes $50,000 a year is the man they want, and all the women decide that they don't want to mess with guys who make $500,000, $200,000, then only then will the guy who makes $50,000 become high value in their eyes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, say it with your chest. You know, the men that make a certain tax bracket, you know, I think you're an attractive guy that have certain components, you know, we made them into superheroes because so many women are saying these are the qualifications just to be considered. And it's really where everything went wrong, because the truth of the matter, I really don't think a lot of women have dated men in a certain tax bracket, because if you did, you would know, regardless of how much money he has in the bank, it does not equate to high value.
Women don't care.
I've learned from hosting the show, experience is the best teacher. And people just have to experience things for themselves to learn the truth. But I don't want to go off tangent.
The only thing I want to say, Kendra, is that I personally, and I want to play devil's advocate. You know, that's a very important thing to do sometimes. I think that it's extremely important. It's a lot of women that can entertain people that's high value in their character, but they can't sustain it because of issues that they have or past traumas. So I just think that it's important, if that's something you want, to make sure that you work on yourself. So if you do happen to find somebody like that, you can sustain it long term versus just a year or a year and a half. I think that that's extremely important as well.
I agree with him, because usually the guy who makes less money is willing to tolerate more than the guy who makes lots of money. And the reason being, the guy who makes lots of money will walk away. Like, I got other women who want me. So if you don't want to listen to me, woman, I'm going to move on. But the guy who makes less money, he's going to stay around, stick around, listen to her, you know, the disrespect. So I agree. As they want these guys who make lots of money, they have to realize those guys easily move on. So they have to come correct.
But why would you say the woman can't maintain it? How you know that he couldn't do what he needed to do to keep her?
Because most times they say they want this kind of men. They scream on your show how they want the guy who make lots of money. But those guys come with their own standards and they don't measure up.
I'm going to be on the man's side. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just going to speak from the man's perspective. I mean, I don't want to be like... Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Did you initiate the divorce?
I did not. But I, in the sense that I did say, hey, this is my limit. You met my limit and it's time for us to move on. But she actually initiated it. I felt, you know, a lot of guilt and things of that nature, but she did initiate it, but I was the one that made the decision.
Would you have initiated it if she didn't?
You know, that's a tough decision because like I'm a ride or die person. So I really wanted it and I kept making it clear I wanted it. But I don't know if I would have actually did it just because sometimes I can suffer. I try to suffer through some stuff. But I did make it clear.
Okay. So you kind of proved the point I was about to make. There's a lot of men that's always like kind of what you just said. A woman has to do what she has to do to keep a certain man. But really the reality is the man has to keep the woman because your wife decided to leave. I mean, you had a requirement And instead of rising to the requirement that you said she needed to do in order to keep you, she left. So I don't think it's fair to say women need, I think what's happening is this. First of all, both people got to keep each other, right?
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
let's stop this balance of you better not, it's like you better not do anything to rock the boat. It's not about the woman trying to keep the man or the man trying to keep the woman. Two people have to want a relationship to work. And two people have to make sacrifices at time and show up for each other. What happens, this is why I don't like the high value thing, because you believe a woman better do what she can to keep a man like me. And I think men are not hearing women when they say, baby, I'm okay with or without you. I think we're in a time where men hate happy, successful women because they're proving that a woman could thrive without a man. And would you like a man? Of course, maybe some, but not under the conditions that are being presented.
Yeah, you can survive without a man as long as you don't turn around and say, but if a man is going to be with me, he got to come pay my bills. Okay? If you really can survive without a man, especially without what a man can provide, then pick a normal average guy who's not going to pay your bills. But even the rich, successful women still want men who are going to come in and pay their bills and be on their level. I want a man who's on my level. So it's not that men can't handle women who are successful and things like that. It's the fact that whether a woman has money or she doesn't, all of them want a man who has the money. So guess what? The guys who have the money are going to be cocky. It comes with the territory. Until women start to choose men who don't have money and take care of those men, then and only then will the guys who have money, the rich guys, stop being cocky. Other than that, anytime a woman deals with a guy who has money, whether she got money or not, you're going to have to get into the guy's program. I'm sorry. That's how it's always going to be.